Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo Channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. You also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play those karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, why you're attracting who you're attracting into your life. What is the whole spiritual significance to the connection? And we want to know the spiritual significance so that we can break karmic cycles that keep us stuck in a place of disempowerment, a place of limitation, and inevitably just a place of fear. So there's two energies, love and fear. And your energy really is love. It's the energy of the universe. That's the supernatural energy that gives us our spiritual sovereignty. It makes us one with our creator and makes us one with each other, that we're all connected to each other through this life force that's also known as prana. Well, again, when we have spiritual blocks, it's just psychological and emotional because we're spiritual beings having human experiences. So, integrating the spiritual lesson allows us to see things from a different perception. It allows us to see also how we are contributing to the imbalances within the connection, which is really important when you're dealing with the karmic because you can't control the karmic, right? You can only control yourself. But when you change yourself, you change the dynamic of the connection, and that forces that person to change, which is really important, especially when you're dealing with karmic, because karmics tend to be self righteous, they tend to be stubborn, they tend to, think that they can emotionally manipulate. And so the key is to realize when you get triggered that that trigger allows you to go inside of you to see what needs to be healed. Once you remove that trigger, you're able to act differently. And that makes the karmic, like I said, have to change their tactic because you're not responding. The whole point that many karmics like to do is they like to trigger emotionally, and then they seem to get what they want due to being masters of this. So understanding again and removing what your spiritual block is removes their power. All right. Now, I never know why spirit tells us what spirit's going to share in the beginning of a reading or why, but it always seems to tie in somehow to the reading. Anything of any importance or relevance, by the way, to the channel, you can find in the description box, including the word of the video. I always tend to forget the word of the video and have to rewind the video to remember it. But if you forget it, all you need to do is go into the description box. It'll be there, along with the directions in case you want to enter into winning a free reading with me. All important links are also in there. All right. Now let's jump right on in to the reading. Let's see what the word of the video is. Lately, I've been pulling two cards for it, but you only have to write one. Okay, let's see what the word of the video is. It is hostility. Hostility. I believe that someone is, again, two people, again, soulmates connected to each other. One person is definitely very hostile because, again, they've lost control. And also, I feel like you're feeling this person, and that makes you think of this person. And when you begin to think about this person, I feel like you get hostile because they did a lot of shit. It's again, so you find yourself ruminating on what they did. You find it's again, but you're not doing anything. You're like in separation. So ESP through the heart and mind. So both parties can feel each other, but no one's doing anything. Everyone's in a Mexican standstill. No one's doing anything. But I feel like this person expected you to react. You're not reacting. I feel like you are like annoyed. You do get hostile over the situation, like again, from your own emotions, but you're like, I'm not going to react because you know what this person wants, is trying to do. I feel like in too much time has gone by that this person now is getting hostile. Vanity. So you want to know why they're not reaching out to you? Well, it's all about what they look like, their self-image, you know? It's like, and that's so prideful and full of ego. So you didn't get an apology, but let's see what this person did. Because everything's about the facade. And that's when you know that a person is fragmented. That's how you know a person's a karmic. Because they're not coming from their true self. They're coming from the mask that they wear. So they're going to overcompensate or undercompensate in all their, actions to you, which is they're either going to ignore you, or they're going to try and dominate you. It's going to be like, it's one or the other. It's a second chakra imbalance. Again, it's all because this person doesn't know who they are. So again, they tend to give, if they let a person into their life, they tend to actually overgive. They wind up sacrificing too much, always feeling the need to be on a rescue mission. And they don't really want to do that. But see, they're on a low vibration. And they don't know that they're on a low vibration, and they're on a low vibration because they're lost. And someone that feels lost doesn't have a purpose. So they wind up giving too much to people because emotionally, how do you really get fulfill yourself? You fulfill yourself through, again, your hobbies, your interests, and other passions. This person doesn't have a purpose. They get caught up in people. And then what happens is that they wind up being the martyr, being the person that gives too much, sacrificing too much of themselves and not focusing on themselves. And then what happens is that they get disrespected and the relationship doesn't work out. So they either know how to be act like they don't have emotion, I don't care, I'm going to ignore you, or they're the martyr. There's no balance. Now, do they realize that they're doing that? No. Now, this is a person that probably goes to work and come home, but there's no, work is not enough passion, first of all. It's 9 to 5, 9 to 7, and that's not a full life. It doesn't allow us to connect authentically with other people. There's usually a reason why, a person is dealing with you with work, where this is a lack of intimacy. Again, we see second chakra imbalance. And why I'm telling you that is a person that doesn't have friends, a person that, again, is lost because they don't know who they are. There's someone that always wears masks. And so, again, they don't realize what they do. And so being around them, I feel like they have low energy to begin with, unless they're going to drink or do something outside of themselves. And it's because, again, when they don't feel good about themselves, everything is going to be a trigger because everything requires us to have confidence, right? Everything. And if they are perceiving that you have more confidence, well, then that's a problem too. So again, I feel like it made you tired. It's again, this person has low energy. Now that first chakra is connected to the adrenal gland, which is a fight, flight, freeze. So every time this person is triggered emotionally by their insecurity, well, it's too much, too much hormones, because the body goes into fight, flight, freeze, which is again the trigger, which makes them wear the mask. But again, it's draining. It's draining for them. Because again, the adrenals, that's that first chakra, like I said, so they're not grounded and there's no connection to the physical world, no real connection to the earth or their physical body. And so that means ancestors, broken roots, usually not strong from where they come from. Usually, again, a lot of imbalances. So wasn't taught the right way. then went out into life and tried to find it, but tried to find themselves through other people. And then they sacrifice too much, but then that means they're always the victim, But so the weariness is that it's like, I'm tired. I'm tired because my life doesn't work. So being around this person, you would wind up having to be the fixer. You would have to be. Now, did they show you this? No, I believe that they don't show that they're insecure through that way. What they do is they withdraw, right? They withdraw from you. There's a need to be perfect because there's shame, or they play the victim. And what's really annoying is sometimes, again, when they first met them, they could act superior because, again, that's the ego overcompensating for the lack of, there's no real identity. See, we can't lose ourselves in other people. If you notice through life, when you're creating yourself, you outgrow people. It's normal. Because your likes are different over time, not all the time. Sometimes just knowing someone for a long time means something. However, a lot of our friends in grammar school we're not friends with in high school, and we're not friends with them when we get married, because you again grow apart. You're introduced to different things. That's how you find your identity. But since the roots were broken, this person didn't really feel comfortable to do that. What they did was they were the healer, the fixer of the family, and went into every relationship after that as the healer and the fixer. But in doing that, they get victimized. Why? Because again, you got to earn respect. It's like, because over time, what winds up happening is you feel angry. Like I said, because you feel like people are taking advantage, but that's what this person unconsciously is teaching. So that's the reason why this person wouldn't get close to you. This is why they would have a hard time emotionally connecting, because once they get connected and they, lower their boundary, they always experience abandonment. And they experience abandonment because, again, they're pretty much abandoning themselves. That's the spiritual imbalance there. And I explain that because, like I said, you could see how this person's behaviorisms would really be triggering because, again, of their insecurity, especially if it would bring out your insecurity. So it's important to see, let's see how it made you feel, what your triggers were. And then we'll see what this person is going to do. And the whole spiritual significance of the connection, because even the worst connections, they teach us something. So it's important to integrate them. You felt unsafe. It's like you felt like you could know, like you just didn't feel safe because the person was never really being transparent with you. And safe could also just mean emotionally safe. Person wasn't allowing you to get close to them because, again, hey, you're gonna get close. You're gonna see that there's nothing there. This person has fear of abandonment. That's why they do everything that they do. So again, the focus is on abandonment, which is why they manifest that. It's like they're not realizing how they're stuck in their trauma. Ignored. Again, so what is a person that acts like they don't need love? What do? They ignore you. But you can feel that, one thing, because ESP is through the heart and mind. So even though they're showing you one thing, you can still feel another. But it's, again, that's I'm going to make you, if you're going to do anything, you're going to do all the work. So then this way I can keep my self-image, again, that, because this is what this person has created, that facade. And of course, no one can live that way, to really suppress their emotions. Because what you know about this person is that they're a martyr in the beginning because they lose themselves in people because they care. That's what you know. It's like they have not had good experiences in relationship because unconsciously they show every relationship that they're not deserving of love, that they're going to be the martyr, that they're going to overgive, that they're not going to ignore themselves to please other people. So they're valuing other people more than they're valuing themselves. That's what they're teaching unconsciously. And then they become the victim because again, you can't buy a person, you can't make a person love you. That's a relationships is something that happened over time through transparency. Again, you see all these second chakra imbalances, lack of transparency, the lack of consistency, the again being withdrawn, creating the persona. It's again why? Because the roots were not strong. So again, so of course there's going to be addictions, of course, but this is how that person disassociates because you can't just shut off your emotions. This person's an emotional person, and if there's a lot of spiritual blocks, well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of emotions there that they can't control because they're not emotionally intelligent. That's what we see here. That they're so this is how they deal with it, which is going to make the relationship like horrible for you. It's like you said, you're going to feel like you're in a relationship by yourself. It would be codependent. It would be all about you doing for the connection. We see it's and you'd feel like everything was a lie, like that the person didn't never really care. They do care, but they need a lot of healing. There's someone that has again can't love because they don't love themselves. And so, again, it's because of, again, what they're taught, what they went through. Again, too many relationships that they showed. So let's see what they're going to do. Not saying that you should change if a person doesn't heal. It's not about taking them back, but sometimes knowing what they're going to do allows us to prepare or finding out what the whole spiritual significance is, obviously allows us. Hi, Jessica. So I've been so grounded all my life, it's hard for me to trust the spiritual elements of our connection, yet I can't deny that they exist. Because this person's not spiritual. It's again, they live more in the logical, analytical mind, which is a survival reptilian mind, which is also about survival, so they're coming all the time from their wounds. They're not coming from their true self, their higher self. The spiritual element is love that can't be broken. That's their natural God-given energy, but born into the family that again created that environment, created those wounds, and then those behaviorisms, I should say. And that was a survival mechanism for that person to be the giver, to be the healer, they were the adult. They were the ones that always had the right answer. They saved the day. It was their job to save the day. And so they go into relationships and they do the same thing and they lose themselves because then, it's almost like if a person is always there and doing for you, it's human nature to not value because we get comfortable. It's human nature to like take it for granted. It's like if you always have chocolate ice cream in the freezer, you know, it's like, and you could love chocolate ice cream. I love chocolate ice cream. But you know what? It's in there every day, every day. That's it. Nothing but chocolate ice cream every day. But one day there's vanilla. And you can only imagine, you'd be like, this vanilla ice cream. You'd be, because it's always there. It's always there. And so this person becomes like, but where's their identity? Where, like, what are they doing for themselves? They're trying to get that love through, the same way that they did growing up as a child. when they tried to become themselves, understand, well, there were too many imbalances in the environment for that child to do that. So that's why this person is like, I can't let you come into the relationship. I know what I feel here, but it doesn't mean anything because I got to be safe. I know what I know. I know what I've lived. That's a fact. This is what this person. So it's like when we're talking, things just come out of my mouth, and afterwards, I'm not even sure why I said them. So it's because it's like this person is starved for the emotional connection of wanting that emotional connection, but doesn't know how to connect on that level because of, again, of that spiritual block. We are alchemists. We transform fear into love and shadow into light. So, again, from a spiritual element, the connection is to help alchemize. Both parties have spiritual blocks. We don't see yours yet because we haven't pulled them. I think you're beautiful inside and out, and I can see the light that radiates from your soul. I don't know if they really feel that way, but they can definitely think that you're a beautiful person because they can see by your acts of kindness and that, you're of a high vibration. And that's what love is, a high vibration. It's unconditional love. It's like, so, you know, that's what they feel, that's what they know. And that's the only energy that can alchemize those spiritual blocks of really what you see here is self-hatred, someone that doesn't believe that they can have love, unless they give, unless they were taught that love was transactional. So it's, again, they go into every relationship, so that's why they pretend that they don't have emotions. This way it saves them from, getting hurt. There's no balance. There's absolutely no balance within the connection, and that's what the problem is. I'm trying to stay positive. Oh no, it's sorry. I'm trying to understand how my thoughts create my reality. I know I need to stay positive. Are you? So again, this person, I feel insecure and it's pushing me to grow. I long ago shut down those parts of me that wanted love and romance and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. And I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies unite as one. So, like I said, so even though this person still acts the way that they acted, what they're saying is there's a lot of realization here. There's a lot of fear here, but there's also a lot of realization here. And realizing that, their thoughts create their reality, that it's really up to them whether they want to be in a relationship. They're acting like, and again, to relationship, the relationship's not going to work out. If we look to driving off the cliff, instead of straight ahead, we're going to drive off the cliff. If we're looking, over the cliff, we want to look to where we want to go, not to where we don't want to go. This person, like, again, looked at you like, oh, the relationship is automatically going to go down the toilet because that's through their relationships. It always winds up ending up horribly for this person. But the relationship is different because they can't really control this connection. But I keep seeing it over and over and over and over and over again that this person does not feel deserving, and it's affecting their levels of abundance and openness. So it's really, again, this connection is making them dive deep within inside of themselves. So we see right now that they're actually, when we say, well, what are they doing? Well, they're in a healing phase right now. This connection pushing them into that because they're not crying, they're not moaning, but what healing phase is, it's making them think. It's making them think about their thoughts, how they've created their life. It makes them feel about how they shut them down, their feelings a long time ago, about how, again, they're insecure, and yes, and how they feel about you, but really more about themselves, how they're trying to, how they create their life and why they don't like their life, which is what the universe brought you into this person's life. See, the universe doesn't really give a shit whether you're going to be with this person or not. Only cares about whether you both learn the spiritual lesson, because it'll bring you to, if not this person, another person, that you're going to be with, because we have many soulmates. It cares about learning and healing and loving. Again, you always have free will. The universe just will redirect to, a different, soulmate, a different hobby, a different interest, doesn't matter. The lessons will still be taught, and that's at the bottom line. The universe happens to just use certain people, teach the lessons. And this person for sure is a soulmate, but what we see here, it's like we don't see this person with you. We see this person caught up in all about, like, why does my life look like this? Like, how did I get here? Like, and I don't think I'm even good enough for you. And why aren't I good enough for you? And these are all questions that the universe is pretty much saying, asking this person. Like, what's the problem? Now, for you, you could say, well, why the hell did I bring this person into my life? Well, that would work if I can find the inner child cards. Here they are. And it kind of sucks because, there's a part of you that be like, so I might not never even see the benefits or get the benefits from this person. And Spirit says they have free will too, and right now they know they need to work on themselves. But the fact that they want to work on themselves, it means that they're open to it. But as far as right now, you're not going to see much movement. You're going to see a lot of internal stuff going on, like things happening, but on the spiritual realm, that the universe is trying to like wake this person up, to help them return to love. So again, first card out, laughter, abandonment, source, unworthy. Damn, it's like every other one is like bad, cleansing, see? Nurturance. So when we look at your inner child wounds, emotional abuse, like love is transactional. It's one of the most common, things that children are taught, in their environments. If you don't do good in school, you get punished. If you don't make mommy and daddy look good, you get punished. If you don't do, you become like ingrained into the clan kind of, and it's not really encouraged to be different. It's encouraged to kind of like live by a certain structure. I think we become more of a society that's tried to become a little bit more lenient with that. But for the majority, there was a lot of, society put a lot of rules, and everyone tried to fit in to those rules. It was safer. So again, that love is transactional. And I say that because to feel unworthy, children don't feel unworthy. They're not, that's not a thing that they're born saying, I feel unworthy. No. Children feel abundant. They're still part of source. They're close to source. They're close to spirit. But emotional abuse and psychological abuse of feeling unworthy and not good enough. And so again, not nurtured. So when children are not nurtured, it's like abandonment, emotional abandonment. It's like is very traumatic to a child. So I feel like you grew up in an environment that, you were meant to, like your hobbies and interests and things that were important to you, or even for you yourself, you were made to feel that you were unworthy. And so Was it done purposely? No, a lot of times it's not done purposely. Our parents get caught up, they got caught up in whatever that was going on in their life. It's like a lot of times you might have inherited their own traumas from, again, whatever environments that they grew up in. So, ancestral karma. So, that's usually where it comes from. So, there's abandonment from family, abandonment, then you're not nurturing yourself. But the irony here is that we see you have a close connection to source. So you always very intuitive. You always were someone that, which happens a lot of times because, the child that survives thrives. How is that? Well, again, we have spirit inside of us. And when we grow up in survival mode, we're not in the logical analytical mind. The higher self takes over. And it's, again, so we're like psychically, we become like an animal almost. Your senses become sharper. You have to force yourself to, sense whether it's safe, your environment is safe. So if have a parent that's angry, that makes you feel unworthy, not good enough, you try to tend to avoid that parent and try to sense out as a child, how is this parent going to be? You're not obviously not going to feel comfortable. So again, in that energy of source, that's a lot of times we say we don't know how we got through situations, and source says, I carried you. And so that empath energy is like you knew how to cleanse yourself, always knew how to cleanse yourself. And that's through, again, I feel like finding ways to give yourself joy. Yes, when you were a child, being around family and not being nurtured is not happy, but you were able to like make your own happiness, find your own happiness, find your own joy, which is empath energy, by the way, because empath energy is childlike energy. So, Spirit's saying it's like you kind of had to go back into the situation where this person made you feel unworthy and, yes, brought up all those energies, but also brought out your gifts. And as I said, well, you have the power to clear this energy, is what Spirit is saying. And and you clear that energy through two different decks. I just only have a certain amount of bags. Is, again, Spirit says, create and cleanse a tranquil area for reflection. Again, so part of this situation was to help you heal, to, again, cleanse yourself. Again, so we saw cleansing twice. So when I see cleansing, it means like, really doing shadow work, doing meditating on it, contemplating, journaling. Spirit saying it's like to dive deep into that, so that you can go into uncharted waters, which is completely new waters. Uncharted means that. And the reason why is because Spirit says you can't stay in the same place that made you sick to get to heal yourself. This person, again, they have spiritual issues. They're working on themselves right now. It's not that there isn't a spiritual connection, but that you and this person are not supposed to be together right now, is what Spirit's saying, because you're not supposed to wait. You can, your mind always hold the space for a person, like in your heart. However, thank you, Andrea. But understand Spirit saying it, but you can't sit there and wait, because understand the person wouldn't value you. You got to still make that person chase, like come into your life. They have to worry again, because you always have to create that mystery. It's, again, like you don't want to be that chocolate ice cream that's always in the freezer. You want to be like that. I hope that you're going to be chocolate chip someday. You want that. You don't want like the same old. You want to be different. So Spirit saying you got to go into uncharted waters bit to discover like different elements of who you are. Number one, to invoke your curiosity, to discover new aspects of life. Yeah, and you do that through, again, you also discover new aspects of yourself. Venture in with confidence, Spirit saying. It's like that's what you're supposed to be doing. And you say, why am I supposed to be doing that? And Spirit says, because you have a second chakra imbalance too. Well, you were made to feel unworthy. You were taught that love was transactional. You'll wind up giving too much energy too codependent. Because again, there's no balance. Your balance comes in through, again, your hobbies, your interests, your passions, what inspires you, and who you're connected to. What there's not enough of that, and this person's needy. And so, if you were gonna even be with this person, you'd have to show them how to be. And Spirit says, and you wouldn't be able to do that unless you were actually living that. And if you even don't want this person, you still have to do it because it'll give you balance. You won't give too much to anyone that comes into your life. You always give too much. See, you both do the same thing. You see what Spirit says? You do the same thing, only didn't act mean. You probably rolled out the red carpet. And Spirit says both are wrong. It's like both people, again, don't have enough of who they need to be. And they would just be continuing the family ancestral karma of codependency, toxic relationships, relationships that lost their luster, the passion, like chocolate ice cream and nothing but chocolate ice cream, nothing else but chocolate. And you'd say, at one time I really liked chocolate, and now I hate chocolate. That's what it would be like. And Spirit says, no, we want to venture into the unknown. Why is that? Because there's infinite possibilities and opportunities. You don't even know what you're worthy of, what you can have, because you don't even know who you are. So it's, again, Spirit says, how do you make the best decision? By getting more information. So Spirit's saying, like, again, more opportunities. And it's all about, yes, gaining courage, getting strong within yourself so that you can transform, to let go of who you once were to become who you are. And that's what this connection is. So we're seeing a lot of healing happening in separation right now. And so Spirit says, yeah, both parties, if this is real unconditional love, it won't matter how much time goes by. It won't matter. Like, it's, again, that, and maybe both parties needed to learn that unconditional love really is unconditional, that it's not transactional, because both parties were taught that. One was made to feel unworthy and not good enough, and and the other person was on the rescue mission. Like, let me be the fixer. I'm in charge here. Like, I'm the parent. Where it's, again, second chakra imbalance, Spirit saying. And so we see, again, why this person has had repeated certain karmic cycles, and Spirit saying, so you wouldn't have been in a good karmic relationship, because they would have never let you get that close. You would have not been in an emotionally fulfilling connection. Now, as this person does their healing, they'll be able to do that, because, as of right now, they just don't feel good enough, like they don't deserve. But that's, again, because they were taught that they had to give in order to get love. And so, but then, that's over time, that becomes a very bland type of relationship. And this person definitely needs to learn that, how to work with their emotions before they even or come back into your life, because they use substances to, like, suppress themselves. But if they really are on their true healing journey, I believe that they will do that. And Spirit leads us off with one more, which is harmony. Open yourself to the divine being within yourself. You are the image of God. Have the power to bring light into your life. Turn any darkness in you into something beautiful. In the absence of resentment, anger, or doubt, find harmony. So, Spirit is saying again, this is all about you creating more of yourself. So it's almost like, yes, you're soulmates, but it's almost like you're not supposed to be together right now, and you might not ever wind up being together. But you both played pivotal roles within your healing evolution. And so there'll always be love, there'll always be a connection. But whether this person is going to be strong enough to one day be able to communicate that to you one day, but who knows when. And Spirit says it's not about you waiting. Understand there's infinite possibilities for you out there. That means other options, other people. So go into the uncharted waters and go and find yourself and have a love affair with yourself. And believe me, you'll become a magnet for love and abundance. And that's really what you want. This person's just not on a high enough vibration. I'm going to leave that there for you, Virgos. I love you guys. Thanks for sharing your energy with me. And thank you, Andrea. And thank you, Jessica and Diane and TM and everybody else that shared your energy with me tonight. I'll talk to you later. Good night.